Hello, and welcome back to our Advanced Squad Leader tutorial series. In the last few videos, we have been dealing with vehicles and their interaction with infantry. They carried the infantry into battle, as well as tried to run them over. In this one, we are going to help the infantry survive on the battlefield through the use of smoke in some of its various forms. First, let's look at the standard Mark IV German tank. On the back of the counter, you will see an S8. That is the smoke number for this tank. When this tank goes to fire smoke, if the two-hit roll is less than this number, the smoke shell goes off without a problem. If the two-hit roll equals this number, the shell goes off, but that is the last smoke round for this tank for the scenario. To get full strength smoke, you have to fire it during your prep fire phase, and any smoke placement has to be done prior to any other prep firing. In our example, we will use the Mark IV in the prep fire phase for the German player turn. The German infantry want to get up close to the Russian light machine gun and squad located in the stone building. Supporting them are two Panzer IV tanks. It is the German prep fire phase. The tanks have several options. They can fire on the infantry like normal with their main guns and machine guns. But if they don't break the Russians, then the Germans attacking might not make it. Since the Russians are in a stone building, the two hits would be 5 for the crew exposed tank and 4 for the buttoned up tank, and all the machine gun shots would have a +3 DRM. These are not great odds. So the German player decides to use smoke to cover the advance of his infantry. He has to make the decision first because smoke has to be fired before any other prep fire shots can occur. To hit with smoke, we use the area target type, but according to the tables, add +2 to the two-hit number, so the 7 becomes a 9. Now the crew exposed tank stays at a 9 to hit with no dice roll modifiers. The buttoned up tank must add 1 to the 2-hit for it being buttoned up. The first tank opts to fire its smoke directly onto the Russians and hits the hex by rolling a 7. +1 DRM totals 8, which is less than a 9. Now the second tank tries to fire in the hex in front of the Russians. This tank rolls an 8. The smoke hits, but the tank is out of smoke because it had a smoke number of 8. That was its last smoke shell for the scenario. That's it for the German prep fire phase. Now the German player goes to the movement phase. The squad and leader enter the hex in front of the smoke for 1. They walk into the next hex, which is the smoke hex, for 1 for the cost of terrain, +1 extra for walking through smoke, for a total of 3. The Germans got to the house without even getting shot at, because the Russians cannot see them, with the total hindrances of being +7. This brings up a special point. Shooting into smoke gives a +3 hindrance. Shooting out of smoke is an additional +1 DRM. Also, if a unit goes through 6 or more hindrances, it cannot see the target. In this case, the Russians are suffering from a +7 hindrance dice roll modifier and cannot see the advancing Germans, as long as the line of sight goes through that second +3 smoke. A second way AFEs can place smoke is through the crew placing smoke grenades like infantry. First, the AFE has to be crew exposed. Then the operator simply announces smoke grenade attempt. On a die roll of 1 or 2, a small smoke counter is placed in the hex the vehicle is in. If the smoke counter is placed, the vehicle has spent 1 MP in that hex for defensive fire purposes. If no smoke is placed, then no MP has been spent. Some vehicles also have specific smoke dispersing mechanisms. I will be showing these in a later video. With regards to smoke counter removal, in the next prep fire phase of the side that placed the smoke, all full strength smoke is turned over to its dispersed side. Dispersed smoke is removed. So in our example, during the next German prep fire phase, the white full strength smokes would have been flipped to its dispersed side, and in the next German prep fire phase, all dispersed smoke would be removed. The vehicle smoke grenades disappear immediately after the movement phase in which they were placed. This concludes our video on smoke placement via vehicles. I hope you found it useful and enjoyable. Please remember that this and all my videos are meant as an introduction to give you enough confidence so you can dive in and have some fun playing this great game. The best way to learn this game is to keep playing and don't worry about making mistakes. Perhaps learn from a more experienced player, and possibly attend one of the many ASL tournaments throughout the country, like Nor'easter in Boxborough, Massachusetts, and the New York State ASL Championships in Albany, New York. If you have any thoughts, questions, or suggestions, feel free to contact me at jdhobbieslive.com. If you like this and our other videos, please subscribe to our channel and like us on YouTube. And like always, thanks for watching.